Greetings, y'all. I'm coming to you from the swimming hole at the farm in Tennessee, which is an intentional community founded in the early 70s by a group of seekers who wanted to practice peace and to live in peace and to live in community. At its prime, it was over almost 2,000 people here. Today, there are about 230 people here, many of them elders who have been working to really bring peace and prosperity and abundance to communities across the world that have lacked those things. There is a nonprofit started here called Plenty, and they bring food and supplies to communities. It's been very interesting to get to hear about what they're doing here and to get to meet the people, many of whom were on the original caravan in 71. So they are elders in their 80s now, and they have a lot of wisdom and a lot of insight. And I'm also getting to share the dances of universal peace with this community with dancers that have come in from all over the country. I started my journey in Asheville and have only been on the road for a couple of days now, but I'm really excited that I get to break my journey at places like this, dropping in on communities that have existed for decades and learning from the elders and these traditions on how do we live in community in a good way. And I've heard a lot about challenges and shadows and issues that people face when they live in community. Living in community isn't easy. It's really hard. Just like being in part of something is really, really hard work. Feelings get hurt. People make poor decisions. And that's something that I've been facing in my own life this past week of just loving my community and also being disappointed by my community. And I don't know if any of you are feeling that with me, but it's been a true study in how do we stay neutral in our hearts and hold peace in our hearts and hold the vibration and energy of forgiveness in our hearts, both for those around us who disappoint us or shock us, or all the ways in which people reveal themselves. We're like onions. There are many layers that we all carry, and including myself. I've spent some real time this week in my own shadow of where am I incongruent in what I say and what I do, and really working not just in identifying what those things are, but how can I change my behavior? How can I change my actions day in and day out to be in alignment with the Catherine that I want to be in the world? And all I can do is identify when I'm out of alignment, listen to people when they bring that forward to me, and practice repair, apologizing, taking responsibility, and then really working to not do those things again. I've had to do it in my own life, and I've also had to ask people in my community and hold a mirror for them as they hold that mirror for me. That's what it is to be in community, in real, genuine, heartfelt, honest, true community. It is difficult and challenging. And, you know, this week we premiered the new version of Fully Awake, the documentary film that I have worked on since 2001. The film was completed in 2007, but we pulled it out and we started anew. And that's what I've been doing in Asheville. And we had our first screening in Asheville with friends and family under the trees outside with lightning bugs and with our kitty cats walking around. And it was just a really magical experience to share something that is so close to my heart. And for the first time, when I watched the film, after 24 years, because remember it was started in 2001, I felt a deep sense of satisfaction. I felt satisfied with my work, and that felt really incredible. And what I learned from that is that day after day after day, we're practicing. And little by little by little, a little becomes a lot. And so I know if in 24 years of making Fully Awake, I can come to a place where I can say, that's it, that's complete, I'm finished, this is good, this feels right, then I also know that that place can come in my own shadow work where I am feeling disconnected or out of integrity. And so to my community, to all of us, I offer this as something that we collectively, communally hold in our hearts, that we can heal, that we can improve, that we can take responsibility, that we can own our shadows as part of our history and as part of our autobiography of this was part of me, and now here I am. Just like Fully Awake as a film has been one thing and now it's another. It's ever evolving, just like us. Our work, our dance, our art, our song, our family, our ways of interacting with our communities. It's ever evolving. It's ever changing. As Octavia Butler says, God is change. God is change. And I feel so grateful that we get to live in this changing world. Sometimes I feel scared. But overall, I feel hopeful. And I'm going to carry that hope with me into this lake. So I'm going to take you along for a dive, for getting wet with me. And so I'm sending so much love from the first stop of my journey across the country. I'm here in Summertown, Tennessee. Y'all, let's go get wet.